We take you inside this week's school committee meeting on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Thursday, February 4th, 2016. I'm Sarah Colvin. The fiscal 2017 budget process for Barnstable schools is officially underway. Wednesday night, Interim Superintendent of Schools Bill Butler and Deputy Finance Director Gareth Markwell presented a proposed $66,050,000 budget that reflects a $1.8 million increase over the current budget. Butler says the process is far from over.
At the District Leadership Council meeting, we received program funding requests from the principals and the directors just before the holiday break. We met with the principals and directors in January to review those requests. This is a sort of unusual budget process because we're in leadership transition. We had the opportunity to meet with Meg Mayo Brown this afternoon. It was really her first opportunity to participate in the budget process. So the budget we're presenting tonight is a very preliminary budget, and it will be fleshed out over the next month or so as Meg has an opportunity to give us input from her perspective.
Markwell presented the proposed budget figures.
Our budget reflects increases in both state and local, from both state and local sources, as identified at the joint town council and school committee workshop held here earlier in January. Our revenue and expense projections remain somewhat fluid and uncertain at this point. However, we do anticipate that this fluidity will kind of continue until our final budget adoption later in April, and then ultimately by the town council in
The
June.
Deputy Finance Director says the budget development process kept in mind the district's core values and the needs of the Barnstable students. Hiring and retaining quality staff remains a priority for the coming fiscal year. Enrollment is a key driver in the budget planning process.
Obviously, the service that we provide in educating the students, one of the largest factors will always come back to enrollment. Enrollment decline has leveled out. We are not seeing the loss of students that we have seen in the last 10, 15 years. In fiscal year 17, our internal predictions probably see us losing maybe I think it's about 30 kids district-wide. We will continue to target a pupil-teacher ratio, grades K through 3 of 22:1, 4 to 7, 24:1, and grades 8 through 12, 25:1. Interesting to note, we are seeing larger cohorts of students moving through our elementary schools and starting to hit in the 4-5 level and 6-7. So the jury's out on how that translates to high school enrollment in a few years. That will greatly affect the final enrollment in future years. But it's all things that we need to plan for now as far as transitioning staff throughout the district. We have an increased placement of students onto IEPs, and again, both these students require more intensive services, so it's all part of our budget development. And also we look at the reason for that. Why are we seeing a larger population, whether it's medically fragile kids or purely our identification practices. On the flip side, our out-of-district placements and costs are down. We have seen a significant decrease in the number of students out of district in the last 5 years, and I see that as a real reflection of the programs that we have put in place in the last few years, whether it be our partnership with the New England Center for Children, or the programs like the Crossroads programs that we now have in place at all grades. It's essentially keeping students in the school district and keeping those out-of-district placement costs down. And it's also in the best interest of the student to be educated in their local school.
Markwell discussed concerns over the substitute budget.
Not a surprise. I say this every meeting. Substitute budgets, estimated district-wide, $335,000 shortfall in those budget lines. And that's something that we've seen creep up over the last few years. Increased use of subs for professional development and meeting coverage. Our sub rates for our support personnel are currently tied to our collective bargaining agreement, and we've largely level funded this category, so as the rates have gone up, we haven't adjusted accordingly. So we're looking to take steps to address these issues.
The proposed budget takes a look at innovation and initiative requests from principals.
Kind of the final driver, we're looking at the innovative ideas and the enhancements that our building principals and directors have submitted to us back in December. For fiscal year 17, the principals and department heads made submissions totaling approximately $3.7 million, and were made up of 58 requests. So there really is no shortage of great ideas and really no shortage of need in the district. Our initial department and leadership meetings have identified that yes, we do need to look at some of these initiatives to maintain adequate programming for both students and address deficit situations that we have.
Much more work is left to be done as the school committee and staff work to craft the fiscal 2017 budget. Incoming Superintendent of Schools Meg Bayo-Brown is expected to play a role in the budget process. In other news from this week's school committee meeting, the highlight in education featured the popular Challenge Day program. A student-driven effort brought the California program to Barnstable schools a decade ago. Senior Cooper Blaze addressed the school committee praising the program.
4 years ago, I was one of the 400 members of the class of 2016 that participated in Challenge Day. And to this day, Challenge Day was one of the greatest school spirit activities I and fellow classmates have ever partaken in at Barnstable High School. Now, what is Challenge Day? And why is it so important to our school? Challenge Day helps underclassmen connect through powerful and life-changing programs in our school. The day consists of ice-breaking activities to help loosen the tension of such an emotional day. Then students will break into families where one tells all about oneself in a safe environment. Finally, everyone will participate in a cross-the-line segment, which establishes a common ground for all students in such a diverse community. These Challenge Day events help tear down the walls of separation and encourages students to aid in making a positive class climate. This program has effectively increased student self-esteem and has helped shift dangerous peer pressure to positive peer support and has reduced the acceptability of teasing. Challenge Day has been proven to be a unifying class event for everybody that has gone through Barnstable High School and an overall major success at Barnstable. And before I conclude, I would like to remind all members of the school committee that BHS welcomes you to join us at Challenge Day so you too can experience what being the change is all about.
The anti-bullying program is held in Barnstable schools on an annual basis. Barnstable High School Principal Patrick Clark had good news to bring to the board as well.
I'm batting out of order with something, but I just wanted to take this opportunity. The last piece of mail, before you go, Robbie and Sarah, the last piece of mail I opened today before I came over was from Senator Elizabeth Warren's office. And it wasn't just the usual photocopy type of statement. It was the fact that Barnstable High School has the Southeastern Mass Regional Award for the Daughter of the American Revolution. And this is a student in this region of the state who shows leadership, community service, and patriotism. And that student for our region of the state is Robert Welsh IV. Congratulations. So the tradition is that the school counselor goes into a classroom and embarrasses the student a little bit with the actual citation, so I didn't bring it with me and thought we're going to keep with that. But congratulations. It was a fabulous thing to open before coming over for a meeting.
Welsh, otherwise known as Robbie, serves as student council liaison to the school committee. Be sure to tune in to Barnstable This Morning, our daily live 1-hour news program to help keep you up to date and informed on all that's happening here at Town Hall. Friday's show will feature Alicia Mathewson in our Arts and Culture segment, our weekly interviews with Director of Leisure Services Patty Machado and HYCCA General Manager Joe Izzo, and our Marine and Environmental Affairs segment. Barnstable This Morning, live each weekday at 8 a.m. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.